Good morning, we're Team England. Today we're presenting about British tea culture. Firstly, I will speak about the history of tea in England. So tea is presented as a culture of its own in England. However, before the 17th century, tea was not widely popular like nowadays. Since 1600, tea was traded by Portuguese and Dutch through shipping from China and other Asian countries. Then it was advertised in a London newspaper as a China drink in 1658, and at that time, people called it by many names such as like tea jar, tea tray, or China Gina. And because of the medicinal benefits of tea, so it was sold at a very expensive price. Because of that, so tea was only for high class people at the time. Until 1659 and 1662, so tea was more approachable to everyone and it's sold on all the street. And in 1662, King Charles II's wife introduced tea to the royal court, so people started seeing tea as a fashionable drink. Due to the popularity of tea at that time, so the government rapidly increased taxation of tea's import to 119%. But in 1784, the Commutation Act was introduced, which decreased the taxation of tea to 12.5%. And as a result, the consumption of tea rose rapidly in the coffee house. And by 1700, there was over 50 coffee house at that time. And it was the most popular drink of everyone, even the low class people in 1750. And because of that, the concept of afternoon teas first appeared in the mid 19th century. It was introduced by the seventh Duchess Bedford Anna. The Duchess was usually hungry around 4 o'clock, but she had to wait until 8 p.m. to have dinner. So she asked for a tray of tea, bread, and butter between the time of lunch and dinner. So it became her habit, and she started invite her friends to join the afternoon tea. So this concept before became a fashionable social event, and in the 1880s, upper class and society women would dress up with long gowns, clothes, and hat for the afternoon tea. So this is my part for the history of tea, and Jasmine, she will speak about the type of types of tea in England. Thank you.
Now we'll be talking about the styles and types of tea. In England, it's common to see people use hard water, which cannot extract flavors from green and white teas, especially if they're unfermented. However, for black tea, which is completely fermented, their water works really well as it takes on the flavor and color perfectly. On the left image, you can see the percentage of people that have hard water and the percentage of people that use soft water. Whereas on the right image, you can see that how a cup of tea would look if it was made with hard water or soft water. The first tea we have is Earl Grey tea, which is a flavored tea and it's one that's recognized around the world. It originates from China. In fact, British Earl Grey tea is a black-based tea flavored with the oil from the rind of a bergamot orange, a citrus fruit. However, the black tea could be from anywhere, including India or Africa. It can be a single estate black tea or a blend of black teas as well. There is both synthetic and natural bergamot, which is used to flavor the tea. Synthetic bergamot is mostly used by manufacturers because it has a consistent flavor and stays away from all factors that cause allergies. Natural bergamot is used to have a very strong and deep flavor. Earl Grey tea is harvested and produced through a process which is known as withering, rolling, oxidation, and drying. Earl Grey tea is mostly enjoyed in the mornings or early afternoon. Next, we have Assam. It's a black tea made from the region of India. It originates in southern China and Assam itself. It's made from the Camellia sinensis var. Assamica plant, which is native to the region. It is harvested 4 times a year, with the first and second harvest being the best. It is a low green tea, which is fully oxidized and has full body. It is a great base for chai teas and teas that need to be strong, hold aroma, spices, and have the incorporation of milk. Assam is known to have a high content of caffeine out of all of the black teas. However, caffeine levels depend on plant leaves, harvesting times, and the brewing method. This tea is often enjoyed in the morning or early afternoon. Next, we have English breakfast tea. It's a traditional blend of black tea, which is most popular in British tea culture. Considering it is a blend of teas, it does not have a specific origin. It's mostly found in estates such as East Africa, Ceylon, and Assam. They're combined to create a full-bodied brew, and this is most often enjoyed with milk or sugar, and it's also consumed in the morning. Lastly, we have Darjeeling, which grows in the district of West Bengal, India. It is unique because it can be processed into black, green, white, or oolong tea. It's also known as the champagne of teas, and it's also produced from the Camellia sinensis plant. It's a tea that is light colored and very floral and aromatic. The tea has three major harvesting periods, which include March to May, June to August, and October to November. This tea is most often enjoyed mid-morning or in the afternoon. Now, how are we talking about how British drink tea?
Thank you, Jasmine. And now I would like to introduce to you how British people drink tea. So first of all, we need to know the difference between afternoon tea and high tea. First of all, let's talk about the afternoon tea. The afternoon tea is a well-known tradition of British people that we all have heard about. They are very posh and elegant. They usually served in low and comfortable chair. Afternoon tea is a break between lunch and dinner, as their dinner is usually later on in the day around 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. They insert the afternoon tea with light snack such as scones, dessert, and sandwiches in a three-tiered rack to close the gap between lunch and dinner. Next is the high tea. People usually misunderstand the high tea as the afternoon tea, but it's actually not the case. So the high tea is the more casual tradition. It's usually found in a working class family of Britain back in time. So it's usually served on the higher table during the dinner times. That's why it's called high tea. So when the working class come back from work, it's usually later on during the day. So they usually have tea with heavier milk. This is very different from the afternoon tea. So back in time, the afternoon tea etiquette was very strict, and here are some of the highlight etiquettes that you need to remember. First of all, do not call afternoon tea high tea. You should dress in the smart casual attire when you attend an afternoon tea party. The three-tier rack orders is very important as well. The sandwiches should be in the bottom, the scones is in the middle, and the dessert should be on the top. And that's the order that you should eat it as well. And the other accessories that is needed for an afternoon tea is the plate, cutleries, chinaware, tea set, napkin, and a tablespoon to stir. Um, in the afternoon tea, the host or the hostess should be the one who pours the tea. But if you are the guest of honor, you can pour the tea with the permission from the host. On the table, you will often find sugar, milk, and lemon for different type of teas as well. And the question is, should you add milk first or should you add tea first? So back in time, you should add milk first, as because the chinaware back in time was very delicate. So the milk first in will help reducing the pressure of the hot water on the cup. And when you hold the teacup, you should hold it by the handle. Do not put the pinky finger up. And when you stir the tea, you should stir it back and forth instead of around in circle and making noises. When you're sitting at the table, do not do not lift the saucer when you drink the tea. But if you're in the larger party and if you want to go around and chat with your friends, you can bring the saucer with you. And with all the light foods such as scone, sandwiches, and dessert, preferably you should eat it by hand. You should only cut the sandwich by the with the cutleries and then use your finger to eat it. So, in conclusion, nowadays British people still drink a lot of tea. They drink the tea in the morning, lunch, afternoon, dinner is a more in a more casual way. But you can find in a lot of restaurants they still hold the afternoon tea party and follow the tradition. And nowadays they even drink the afternoon tea with champagne. With all the information above, I hope you have a better knowledge of the British tea drinking culture. Thank you for listening.